And the learned mathematician Reuben Burrow has no hesitation in pronouncing Stonehenge to be a temple of the black curled-headed Buddha. Damn. What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today, guys, we are going to take a closer look to the histories of Asia to see who the original people of so many of these lands in Asia and even in Europe were, guys. Okay, because today when you look at Asia, what do you see? You see all these, Chinese, East Indians, you see all these people. But the question is, who was the original people of these lands, guys? Okay, that's a very big question today. So many history books like to suggest that the Negro race has no history. I've seen that line in like several history books that I read, that oh my god, the Negro's contribution to history is so small that if the Negro was wiped off the earth, that there would be no significant loss. I have literally seen that statement in one or two history books, guys. Okay, but today we're going to use this book on the screen to see if that is true, guys, because we are studying the history of Buddha. Now, if you guys don't know who Buddha is, Buddha was and is considered to be an East Indian idol, guys. Okay, you may have seen the statue of Buddha in some places. In parts of China, Buddha is also accepted as well, so you might have seen it in maybe a few Chinese films as well. Okay, but who was Buddha? Who were the original people or person, guys? Okay, we're going to find out in this book right here. It's called Anacalypsis, an attempt to draw aside the veil of the Celtic Isis, or an inquiry into the origin of languages, nations, and religion. This book was published by Godfrey Higgins in the year 1874. Let me zoom in so you can see the year. 1874, guys. Okay, so let's see what's inside this book. Okay, so here we are on pages 209, guys. Okay, we're going to see some very important stuff right here. Okay, I'm going to read from this region. Let's see what this region says about the Buddha. Okay, very important stuff here, guys. Okay, history, the true history of the world is written in books, guys. You're not going to see it on TV. You will never see it on all these documentaries that the Caucasians and the Asians and all these people are making. No, they will hide the history of the Negro from the Negro, guys. So if you want to find out the truth, okay, the true progenitors of all these different cultures, all these different nations, all these different religions at one point in time, very early, you need to look at these old books, guys. Okay, this one is from 1874. Let's see what it says about the Buddha. Okay, so I'm going to start from right here where it says M. Krauser or Krauser. M. Krauser observes that the images of Krishna is also one of these idols that people worship in India as well, guys, and Buddha. Both of them are from India, guys. Okay, so Krishna and Buddha, the images of Krishna and Buddha are so similar that it is difficult to distinguish them, and the group pictured above is acknowledged by More in his Hindu pantheon to be applicable to Buddha on the knees of his beautiful mother Maya. But yet there is one circumstance of very great importance which is peculiar to Buddha and forms a discriminating mark between him and Krishna. What is this talking about? Which is that he is continually described as a Negro, not only with a black complexion, in which he agrees with Krishna. Krishna also has a black complexion, guys, but with woolly hair and a flat face. Okay, M. Krauser observes that the black Buddha with frizzled or curled hair, yes, the hair of the Negro race, attaches himself at the same time to the three systems into which the religion of India divides itself, guys. Okay, very powerful stuff. If you guys have ever seen any of these statues of Buddha, even statues of Krishna, you will notice a similarity between them. Okay, their skin color is usually what? Black. They are giving you a clue of what the original people who founded the religion or who were alive before the religion kicked off really were, guys. They had the features of Negroes, guys. Dark skin and what? Woolly hair. Okay, look at what it says right here. Mr. Moore, on his woolly hair, the woolly hair of the Buddha, says that some statues of Buddha certainly exhibit thick Ethiopian lips, but all woolly hair. There is something mysterious and unexplained connected with the hair of this, and only of this Indian deity. The fact of so many different tales having been invented to account for his crisp woolly hair, is alone sufficient to excite suspicion that there is what? Something to conceal, something to be ashamed of more than meets the eye. And what is that thing, guys? What is that thing that they are so ashamed of, that the modern day India, the people of that land today, don't want the world to know? Well, let's go to page 399. Now, here is what they are hiding from the world that they don't want you, the Negroes especially, to know. Okay, so look at what this guy says. Colonel Wilford says that it cannot reasonably be doubted that a race of Negroes had formerly preeminence in India. They had dominion over India before the modern day people eventually, just like in every land, in Europe, in Japan, in China, at one point in time, the earliest people of those places were Negroes, guys. Okay, so they had formerly preeminence in India. These were the inhabitants of India in the time of the what? Of the curly-headed Buddha. Buddha was a Negro, guy. That's what he's telling you. Who was succeeded after 2,160 years by the long-haired Krishna, one an incarnation of the solar god in Taurus and the other in Aries. Okay, thus I account for the Negro Buddha and for the handsome, though black, you see these guys, these people are crazy, guys. Handsome though black Krishna. You see, this thing here reminds me of that scripture, I believe it's in the Song of Solomon, where King Solomon says, I am black but comely. Okay, and we've seen, those of us who have studied history, we know that that but was an alteration by people of, I'm going to say it, people of light skin, guys, people of fair skin, Caucasian complexions. They view black skin as ugly. So when you see something like this right here, talking about Krishna, that Krishna was handsome although black, is trying to suggest that being black is ugly, guys. That's their opinion. The opinion of these fair skin races, or the Caucasian race today, is that black skin is ugly. It's their opinion. Okay, I believe black is beautiful. Even in the scripture, the Most High is described as having the appearance of a jasper and a sardis stone, guys, and those stones are the color of the Negro race. So if the white people feel like being black is ugly, then they must also believe that the Most High himself is ugly, guys. Okay, and good luck to them if they do, guys. Good luck to them. Okay, so let's see what else is here. In the aid of this theory, a reconsideration of the foregoing pages will show that we have found the black complexion or something relating to it whenever we have approached the origin of the nations, all the nations. Let's keep going. Let's see what it says. The alma maters, the goddess Multi Mamea, the founders of the oracles, the Memons or first idols, were always what? We're always black, guys. Venus, Juno, Jupiter, Apollo, Bacchus, Hercules, Astaroth, Adonis, Horus, Apis, Osiris, Ammon. In short, all the wood and stone deities, the gods, the false gods, let's be honest, were always what? Black people, guys. Very powerful stuff. Okay, it gives you an idea that all these different cultures were originally by what? Black people. Not all Negroes, I won't say all of them are Negroes, but they were by black people. And one thing you need to know is that many of these characters, like Hercules, Adonis, many of them, if you really study the origins of them, you'll find that they were inspired by characters in the Bible, by Israelites, guys. Okay, like easily I can tell you right now that Hercules is just the Greek version of Samson, okay, who was the strongest man in the Bible. Yes, okay, and many of these other gods that exist, they are derived from the Israelites. Israelite characters were turned into gods and idols. Okay, same thing for the Buddha, guys. Okay, remember, this Buddha was a Negro, an Israelite, and then over time, you know, people started to worship his image. Okay, that's where the Buddha statue came from, guys. Very powerful stuff. The images remain as if they were first made in very remote times. They were not susceptible of any improvement, and when for any reason they require renewal, they were generally made exactly after the former sacred pattern. I once saw a man repainting a black god on a house side in Italy. Okay, that's powerful stuff right there, guys. He once saw a man repainting a black god on the house side in Italy. Italy today is dominated by Caucasians, but they still put the original image of the original character, the black image, on their walls. We can see this in some of these pictures that show in Europe today, filled with white people. You will see them carrying pictures of the prophets like Peter, Paul, and you will look at these images and you will see that these images do not show Caucasians, man. They show black people, but they themselves are Caucasians worshiping this black image, but they refuse to make the connection that those Negroes who they are oppressing in many lands on this earth are actually the descendants of those men in those images that they hold dear today. Okay, many of them cannot make that connection, or maybe they have, they just don't care. I don't know, guys. Okay, very powerful stuff right here. Okay, the original gods, the first idols of all these lands, they were inspired by Israelite characters, Negro characters, and then they were turned into pagan idols. Okay, I am not showing you this video so that you can go and worship Buddha or any of these people. No, these are all pagan crap today, but I'm trying to prove to you that the Negro is the progenitor of so much culture and history on this earth, guys. Okay, it's crazy. When you read these books, you will see the truth. Okay, all of these gods that people are worshiping, at one point they were derived from Israelite people. Okay, they were inspired by great characters like Samson and others, guys. Okay, and turned into pagan idols to be worshipped. Yes, that's the truth, guys. Okay, look from right here, guys. Very powerful stuff. This section will focus on Krishna, who is another god of India. But when you look at images of Krishna, you will notice that most times he appears blue. Well, there is a reason for that, guys. Okay, here is the reason in this passage. On the first view, it seems rather an extraordinary circumstance that the statues of the gods of the ancients should be represented of a black color, man. Yeah. Or that they should have been made of a stone as nearly black as it could be obtained. Now look at this, guys. Where the stone, the black stone, could not be obtained quite black. Yes, when they couldn't find black stones, what did they do? A stone was often used similar to our blue slate, of a very dark blue color, guys. The drapery of the statue often being of a different light colored stone. It is evident that the intention was to represent a black complexion. Of this, there can be no doubt, guys. Very powerful stuff. Okay, very, very powerful. Okay, so here we are on this book. Well, it's a magazine, guys, from 1940, guys, called The Crisis. This one was published in February 1940. Okay, so let's go to page 39. Okay, so there's a lot of information in this book, but we are going to focus on this side of it right here, where it says Buddhists were Negroes. Okay, you can even look right here. It says the first Europeans were Negroes, but we're not going to focus on this side now. Let's focus on this one right here. Let's see what it says. Buddhists were Negroes. Higgins, an earlier writer, thinks these Negro builders were Buddhists and originated in India. The earliest Buddhas are all woolly-haired, flat-nosed, thick lips. He says a great nation called the Celtier, I think that might be Celtics, the original ones, not these white people that are there today, of whom the Druids were the priests, spread themselves almost over the earth and are traced in their gigantic monument from India to the extremities of Britain. Who can these have been but the early individuals of the black nation of whom we are treating? I know not. And in my opinion, I am not singular. Okay, the learned Maurice says that Cushites, that is Celts, built the great temples in India and Britain and excavated the caves of the former. And the learned mathematician Reuben Borrow has no hesitation in pronouncing Stonehenge to be a temple of the black curled-headed Buddha. Damn. Look at what it says right here down below. Massey says, as regards this, it is certain that the black Buddha of India was imaged in the Negro type. In the black Negro god, whether called Buddha or Sut-Nasi, we have a datum. They carry their color in the proof of their origin. The people who first fashioned and worshipped the divine image of the Negro mold of humanity must, according to all knowledge of human nature, have been Negroes themselves. Let's see some more. For blackness is not merely mystical. The feature and hair of Buddha belongs to the black race, and Nasi is the Negro name. Damn, guys. Okay, very, very powerful stuff. Okay, so I'm not telling you to go and worship the Buddha. I know some of you might be simple and think that's what I'm saying. No, Buddha is a pagan, abomination today. Forget about it, okay? But I want you to know who the original people who inspired this religion were, guys, okay? They were Negroes, okay? And up here, it even mentions Stonehenge. Look at what it says right here. Look at this section right here. It says, and the learned mathematician Reuben Borrow, I'm going to have to study on this man, has no hesitation in pronouncing Stonehenge to be a temple of the black curly-headed Buddha. Powerful stuff, guys. Yes, Stonehenge, that it's in I think it's in Britain today or something. Yeah, they're telling you that Stonehenge was a temple of these black curly-headed Buddha, guys, and his people. Very powerful stuff, guys. We need to know this stuff because it's crazy how people can believe that the Negro has no history when there is so many history written in many of these books. But we have to read it, guys, okay? Our enemies, the Caucasians, the Asians, they don't want you to know this stuff. But I want you to know because it's the truth, guys. It's history. And we need to know, okay? Very, very powerful stuff indeed.